We'll begin this update here in just a moment. Allow some people to join in here. Those of you that are tuning in, please do let me know if you can hear me okay. Alright, let's go ahead and get started with this live update here. This is Jacob Melton live here with West Michigan Weather, and the National Weather Service in northern Indiana has issued a severe thunderstorm warning which includes portions of Berrien County in the West Michigan weather coverage area. And this severe thunderstorm warning goes until 6:45 p.m. this afternoon. And as a matter of fact, we have a severe thunderstorm watch coming in as well. We will discuss that here in just a moment. But continuing with our severe thunderstorm warning, this severe thunderstorm warning is in effect for roughly the southern half of Berrien County, from the Bridgman, Baroda area down towards Eau Claire, Berrien Springs, the Buchanan area, Niles, the Bertrand area, the Galleon area, the Three Oaks area, and New Buffalo Township, New Buffalo area. And again, this severe thunderstorm warning goes until 6:45 p.m. this afternoon. And this is for the potential for the 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, which these 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts have been reported with trained weather spotters with this line of storms. So again, now's the time if you are in southern Berrien County to start heading indoors. Get preferably in that sturdy building away from windows. And now is the time. Do not wait. So again, I'm gonna read off the warning text. Severe thunderstorm warning for these first four are going to be northern Indiana counties. St. Joseph County, again, that is St. Joseph County, Indiana, not Michigan, Indiana. Northeastern Stark County and northwestern Indiana. Northwestern Marshall County, north central Indiana. LaPorte County and northwestern Indiana, and Berrien County in southwestern Michigan. Again, roughly the southern half of Berrien County is in the warning polygon here. That goes until 6:45 p.m. this as we head into the early evening. At 5:44 p.m., severe thunderstorms were located along a line extending from 8 miles northwest of the Beverly Shores area to near the Couts area, I assume, down in Indiana, moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. Again, the primary risk of this line of storms is 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and this has been confirmed by trained weather spotters. So, if you're in the following areas, it is time to get indoors. Again, some of these are going to be northern Indiana. At first, in fact, I'll just read off what we have here in Berrien County. So the New Buffalo area, New Buffalo Township, the Three Oaks area, Galleon, Buchanan, Niles, the Bertrand area. Just a moment here. Up towards Niles, Berrien Springs, the Eau Claire area, the Bridgman area, Baroda. If you're near the Andrews University area, it is time to head indoors. Zooming in a little bit more, the Shorewood Hills area, Berrien Springs, the Glendora area, and New Troy as well. If you are in any of these areas within the orange polygon here, it is time to get indoors, preferably away from windows, and most preferably on the lowest floor if you can get there. And we're now also going to go ahead and discuss the severe thunderstorm watch that has just been issued here. Let me take radar off just for a moment so you can see that. That is this purplish color here. That is a severe thunderstorm watch that is in effect until midnight tonight I will outline that a little bit better. So, roughly in southwest Michigan, near and south of the I-96 corridor, that is a severe thunderstorm watch that is now in effect until midnight tonight. And this severe thunderstorm watch is primarily for, give me just a second to pull up the details. Oops, hold on. Bear with me here. There we go. Primary threats with this severe thunderstorm watch include scattered, damaging wind gusts up to 65 miles per hour. Again, the primary hazard with these storms today will be damaging wind gusts. We don't see much of a hail threat, although I will be honest, especially when the MCV approaches closer to our area later this evening, it is possible that we may have a brief spin-up tornado as well with the QLCS type setup. Again, that is a very, very low chance, but the chance is not zero, especially with the MCV that be approaching the area that can enhance shear a little bit. So, again, that is something we will be watching as well, but the primary hazard will be damaging wind gusts on a scattered basis up to 65 miles per hour. Let's go over the counties that are in the severe thunderstorm watch. That is, if you're in the Grand Rapids County warning area, Allegan, Berry, Calhoun, Eaton, Kalamazoo, and Van Buren counties. And in our northern Indiana counties, that is Berrien, Branch, Cass, and St. Joseph counties. You are all under a severe thunderstorm watch now until midnight tonight as this line of storms continues to move into the area. Let me clear this out. Let me get the radar back up. And we are continuing to track this line of storms stretching from southern Lake Michigan waters here down towards Michigan City over the Valparaiso area in Indiana. And again, we're continuing to watch damaging wind potential of this line. Let's go ahead and take a look, go from the how hard is it raining mode here to the which way the wind is blowing mode. And we are seeing some brighter colors here near the Michigan City area, and that will be pushing off to the northeast. In fact, I will animate this real quick so I can get my bearings straight. It looks like it's tracking something like this. So, okay. So, just north of due east, so that's going to take it into southern sections of Berrien County over the next little while. So if you're in the New Buffalo Township, Buchanan, Niles area, over now is the time to head indoors, as the strong to severe line of thunderstorms potentially actually has a history of producing damaging wind gusts. Continues to move off to the east and northeast. How fast was that moving? Moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. So, again, um, do not mess around with these storms. These storms have had a history of producing wind damage back in the Chicago area. I've seen a lot of wind gusts between 60 and 70 miles per hour in the Chicago area, and it is very well possible that could continue in the southwest Michigan here over the next several minutes. We will be monitoring for reports on this from not only from our National Weather Service chat room here, we are monitoring for reports, and okay, so we're gonna clear that now. So again, Michigan City, Indiana, that will be moving up towards the New Buffalo area over the next several minutes. Let me probe this real quick. Okay, we are seeing, again, this is about 5,000 feet up from the northern Indiana radar. So not all this may necessarily be reaching the ground, but the potential is definitely there for 50 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts to continue to move off to the east and northeast. So let me double check our chat room here. I do not see anything new regarding this warning. Check a couple more things behind the scenes. See anything new yet? Okay. So, all right. Let's go back from the how hard is it raining mode. Not the how hard is it raining mode. Which way to win is broing mode. Excuse me. Let's go back to the how hard is it raining mode. And new scans starting to come here. Michigan City, Indiana's in the thick of it now. New Buffalo Township, you will be getting into it over the next several minutes. So will the Grand Beach area, up towards Union Pier, Lakeside, Shorewood Hills, and Bridgman. Over the next several minutes, you will start to get into the storm. So will the Free Oaks area, over towards the Galleon area, Dayton, Bakertown, and Buchanan. Down the line, we'll be monitoring the Niles, Bertrand, Fairland, Pennellwood, Berrien Springs, and Berrien Center areas. Also the Eau Claire, Hartman, Naomi, and eventually the Indian Lake area as well. And this is also going to be a hurry heads up for those of you, especially in Van Buren and Cass counties. This is just an early heads up. These storms will also be tracking across your area over the next half hour to 45 minutes, up half hour to an hour or so. Be alert for potential severe thunderstorm warning issuance if these storms continue to hold together. Taking a break from the line just for a minute, we're going to go to Grand Rapids radar and show you we do have other showers and thunderstorms ongoing. These have been the pulse variety that we've had since late this morning, going through the afternoon hours. And now into the evening. These will continue to fade away, and our main focus will become this line as we head towards the evening, through the evening hours. These will begin to fade away. Our main focus will be the line of strong to severe thunderstorms as they continue to move their way through the area. So again, we'll take a look at some of these pop-up showers and storms. We have one near the Richland area. You're probably seeing a good downpour. And some more downpours potentially near the Westphalia area, back towards Saranac, another healthy looking downpour. And then maybe a little bit of rain for those of you in Clinton County and Gratiot County. Nothing of real significance right now. And then up towards the Mount Pleasant area, just east of there. Over towards the Wise area, we are also seeing some heavier downpours and lightning. And then up towards the US 10 area, a few downpours as well. Most of these have generally been sub-severe. I will say earlier we did have a severe thunderstorm warning in northwestern Genesee County in the southeastern Saginaw County, where we actually have a flood advisory in effect. Because these pop-up storms, they haven't had the shear to really move all that quickly. So they've been dropping some relatively heavy rainfall rates in a short period of time. In fact, earlier we had a flash flood warning over towards the Detroit metro. That has since expired, but I have seen reports of flash flooding over there earlier on this afternoon. So again, these showers and thunderstorms will begin to fade away as we lose daytime heating. And then our focus will turn to this line of showers and thunderstorms. And then additional shower and thunderstorm activity back over eastern Wisconsin now. This has had a history of producing tornadoes earlier this afternoon. Luckily, this is beginning to take more of a line shape too, meaning this will become more of a damaging wind threat as well. This will also be tracking off to the east, and we will have to monitor especially areas north of I-96 this evening as well, as this activity begins to move across the lake and towards your guys' areas as well. So again, near and north of I-96. So from like the Muskegon area up towards Ludington, Big Rapids, Mount Pleasant, Alma, areas like that, we'll have to be watching later this evening as well for the potential strong to severe thunderstorms. But our primary focus at this time continues to be our severe thunderstorm warning, which continues for mainly southern portions of Berrien County until, just for a minute, that was until 6:45 p.m. this evening, excuse me. 6:45 p.m. and this is primarily for the potential of 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, which have been, which according to the warning text, has been has been confirmed by trained weather spotters, according to the radar text. So, again, these storms have had a history of producing damaging wind gusts in the Chicago area, and it is entirely possible, if not likely, that continues in the southwest lower Michigan over the next few hours. So, again, if you're in the new Buffalo Township area that this is approaching you over the next few minutes, if you are near the Buchanan area, this will be with you in the next little while. Niles, Berrien Springs, the Eau Claire area, Baroda, Bridgman, and New Buffalo Township. Again, over the next several minutes. So, what I want you to do, if you are in the warning area, head indoors, preferably in a sturdy building, preferably on the lowest floor, and I would also prefer you stay away from windows. Okay. Um, I will also mention that as these storms move through southern Berrien County, if you see any damage from these storms, or if you have a wind gust report or anything like that, you do want to pass along to us. You could please do feel free to pass those along to us. You could put them in the chat in your chat on your whether on your Facebook live or YouTube, wherever you're watching. You can put them in the chat. We will see them in the chat room here. You could also tag us on social media as well. We will also see them, and we also have a website to where you can submit your reports, and that is www.westmichiganweather.net/report. That is www.westmichiganweather.net/report, and that is where you could submit your storm or damage reports as these storms continue to move through the area this evening. Again, we want you to do so safely. Do not put yourself in danger to send a storm report. We would rather see a damage report after the storms have passed than you putting yourself in danger trying to get in the thick of the storm a report to us. So, again, we would rather see a damage report after the fact than have you put yourself in danger. But if you are able to get reports to us, those would be greatly appreciated. So it looks like our newest scan coming in here, it is beginning to approach the New Buffalo area and Grand Beach just about right now. Let me go over, take a look again at our velocity product. And we are still continuing to show the brighter colors, mainly in the northern Indiana, but that does not mean up in the New Buffalo area you're not getting gusty winds. I will sample. We're still seeing, at this point, 40 to 50 mile an hour winds, but this is a few thousand feet up. That does not mean you're not seeing 50 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts at the surface. This is a few thousand feet up, however, so that is something we have to take into consideration. Let me take a look at it from the Chicago radar, just from a different perspective here. About the same, 5,500 feet actually. And that is showing, this is a little bit higher up, but it is showing, continuing to show winds approaching 60 miles per hour. Mainly in northern Indiana, near the state line, up to 60 miles per hour. Some more spots approaching that near the LaPorte area in northern Indiana. But this is from the Chicago radar we are looking at here. So we'll go back to northern Indiana though, and roughly the same picture. So again, just because it does not show anything concerning up here, that does not mean nothing is happening. And again, I do want you to remain in your sturdy structure in southern portions of Berrien County. Let these storms get out of here, and then we can go from there. Let's go back to reflectivity mode now. And zoom in again. So, Michiana Shores, you are in the thick of it right now. Indiana, Grand Beach area, you are entering the thick of it. Same Forest Beach will be doing so over in the next few minutes. And eventually New Buffalo as well. Also the Pokagon Band of Potawatomi If you're located near that area, you need to be inside now as these storms continue to move in over the next few minutes. So again, we're going to go back and take a look at the overall situation. We continue with the severe thunderstorm warning for southern portions of Berrien County, and that is until 6:45 p.m. this afternoon. As this line continues to move into southwest lower Michigan, we also have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for portions of southwest lower Michigan, really south of the I-96 corridor. And this goes for Allegan, Berry, Eaton, Van Buren, Kalamazoo, Calhoun, Berrien, Cass, St. Joseph, and Branch counties, and along the nearshore Lake Michigan waters associated with that. We do continue with this severe thunderstorm watch now. That goes until midnight tonight as this line of storms continues to work its way through the area over the next several hours. We also do continue with some pop-up shower and thunderstorm activity that we've been seeing throughout the afternoon and evening. And I will also point out that this pop-up convection has been from outflow boundaries as well. In fact, here's one near the Grand Ledge area back towards Hastings. That is as these storms collapse, the rain-cooled air from these storms push out ahead. That is your outflow boundary. And we will have to monitor if any of these storms, especially with the line, if they interact with this boundary, that can locally enhance the shear as well, and can either enhance the damaging wind potential or, in some cases, produce a very brief spin-up tornado. Again, the greater tornado potential today has been back across Wisconsin, especially southern Wisconsin today, where tornadoes have been seen earlier this afternoon. That is where the greatest potential has been. In fact, let me switch over to the SPC outlook here. This is the outlook that was issued at 4 o'clock. Let me just clean up the screen a little bit for you here. As you see, we continue with the slight risk of severe weather across mainly West Michigan, especially near and west of 131 here. So from like a Big Rapids to Kalamazoo line west, back towards the Lake Michigan shoreline, you are at a slight risk for severe weather as we monitor both of these line of storms, one heading into southwest lower Michigan now, and one back in eastern Wisconsin that will also be pushing east. We'll have to watch as well. So really the best potential for severe weather tonight will be near and west of US 131 from Kalamazoo to Big Rapids and points west. And this slight risk is mainly driven by damaging wind potential, which I agree with. The yellow shading, that is a 15 to 29% risk of damaging wind gusts above 58 miles per hour. That is considered severe level. But if you want to think of 15%, might sound like it's getting up there, but another way to think about it is it says 15% wind risk. That is an 85% chance you won't see anything. So just something to keep in mind. And this is probability of damaging wind gusts within 25 miles of a given point. So like I said, like example, if I use Muskegon here, anywhere within a 25-mile radius of Muskegon could see a damaging wind gust that has a 15 to 29% probability of that happening. Same goes for, like, we'll use Kalamazoo again as an example. 25-mile radius of Kalamazoo, you could see a damaging. There's a 15% probability you could see a damaging wind gust. I will go over the tornado potential. And as I just mentioned, the greatest tornado potential has been back across Wisconsin and northern Illinois, especially Wisconsin today. Southern Wisconsin, that's where we've been seeing the tornadic activity today. Locally, we are not in a outlined risk here by the Storm Prediction Center. However, that just means that according to the data we and the Storm Prediction Center looks at, they feel the tornado risk is less than 2%. That less than 2%, that is not zero. Anytime we have a severe weather risk, really, I'll be honest with you, or even on a general thunderstorm day, honestly, there is always at least a very, very small chance that we could have a fluke brief spin up or something of that nature. And again, like I was mentioning earlier, we'll have to monitor the outflow boundaries for if any storms interact with that could take place. So again, that is something we will be monitoring over the next little while, over the next several hours. Again, the primary risk continues to be damaging wind gusts, especially across portions of West Michigan near and west of US 131. Again, for those of you east of 131, you still have a severe weather risk, but it is a lower end risk, the 5% wind risk. That is 5% chance of a damaging wind gust within 25 miles of a point. Or if you want to think positively, that's a 95% chance that your area doesn't see anything. But again, that is not a 5% chance that your area that anywhere within a 25-mile point of your location may see a damaging wind gust within this brown shading here. So areas like Mount Pleasant, Lansing, Jackson, over towards Battle Creek, Marshall, Ionia areas, up towards the Alma, Ithaca areas, and up towards Clare, you do have a lower end chance, but a non-zero chance that you may see a damaging wind gust. We will just have to see how this line holds up as it continues to move off to the east, especially later this evening, as the instability will be there, but we will have to see how the storms interact with the capping that will be building in at that point as well. I'll go ahead and show the hail risk. However, there's not really much there. Across our local area, hail's not really a super big concern today. We just don't. We're looking at the environment. We just don't have the lapse rates there for storms to really get going and producing large hail. That does not mean we won't have small hail, like maybe maybe half-inch hail or something like that. But we're not really expecting large hail today with these storms for two reasons. One being they're becoming more linear in nature now as we head into the evening hours, and also the fact that we just don't have the environment really there. Let's go back to radar now. Go back to focus on our severe thunderstorm warning. It's been moving through the New Buffalo Township here over the next little while. If anyone is watching in the New Buffalo area as these storms continue to pass, if you do have any storm or damage reports, please do let us know. But it is heading into the Three Oaks area now, the Galion area over the next several minutes. Same for Bridgman over the next few minutes. Shorewood Hills, the Lakeside area. Union Pier, you're getting into the thick of it right now. So again, if you're anywhere in this severe thunderstorm warning, mainly across really the southern half of Berrien County, in this orange polygon here, I need you to remain inside, preferably in that sturdy structure away from windows, and most preferably on the lowest floor until we let this storm pass. Let's go back from the reflectivity product. Let's go back over to velocity now. Just for a minute. Okay. And we are still showing the brighter colors, the brighter greens here, heading into southern Berrien County now, especially near the US 12 corridor. That is where we're showing the best potential for damaging wind gusts. At least in Berrien County. We continue with the brighter colors down into northern Indiana as well. I'll go ahead and take a look one more time from the from the Chicago radar, and it continues to paint a similar picture. Greatest potential for damaging wind gusts will be near and south of the US 12 corridor. That does not mean areas north of the US 12 corridor you are not in danger. That does not mean you're not in danger. I still want you to be inside. But just with the radar data we're looking at here, I do think the highest wind potential will be near and south of the US 12 corridor at this time, but do still continue to remain inside north of the US 12 corridor, up towards the Bridgman, Baroda, and Eau Claire areas, up towards the Hartman area as well. I'll go ahead and take a look from, just curious, from Grand Rapids as well. Okay, it's not really getting a good look there. All right, let's go back to reflectivity now. And I will also point out that we are seeing a little bit of a bow shape as well. That is something we've been seeing. I'll go ahead and outline that best I can here. As that continues to track off to the northeast. And what that is that's the rear inflow from this storm pushing the rain out. And what could happen there is that as the as the as the rear inflow pushes this out, you can get damaging wind gusts as well, particularly along the leading edge. With most of these storms, that is where we generally watch for the strongest damaging winds, is typically along the leading edge of the line. However, sometimes there is cases where we've had lake lows develop. I'm not necessarily sure that's going to be the case tonight, but we've had cases where the rear inflow jet can be pushed down to the surface, and we can get lake lows from time to time, to where winds behind these storms can remain just as strong as well. Again, I do not think that's going to be the case tonight. I think tonight is mainly going to be the leading edge of the line. You get as the rain starts to pick up, that will generally be your best potential for damaging winds is along the leading edge as these storms first move into your area. After a little while, the rain will pick up and the winds will begin to settle down within a reasonable amount of time after the rain picks up. So, but again, damaging winds is damaging winds, so do continue to remain inside, preferably in that sturdy structure across southern portions of Berrien County. New scans starting to come in here shows the Free Oaks area entering the thick of the rainfall now. And that will be in the Galleon area over the next few minutes, the Buchanan area, over towards Niles and Bertrand down the line as well, the Berrien Springs and Eau Claire area, the Baroda and Bridgman areas as well. We are seeing some cloud-to-ground lightning with these storms as well. And that is another hazard, not only of severe thunderstorms, but any thunderstorm, as a matter of fact. And that's just another reason to get inside and let these storms pass, if for no other reason the lightning, in addition to the damaging wind potential. We do have an update coming in on this severe thunderstorm warning. They are continuing the severe thunderstorm warning for Berrien County until 6:45, and it continues to be maintained for damaging wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour. That has been the primary hazard we've been watching with this storm for the last little while, even before it got into southwest lower Michigan here, back towards the Chicago area. And it looks like we are having a small issue with the pop-up warnings showing the raw county codes, not the county names like it's supposed to. That will be something I'll have to address behind the scenes after this coverage. But again, southern portions of Berrien County is where we're watching a severe line of strong to severe thunderstorms continue to track off to the northeast into southwest lower Michigan. Taking another quick reset of the overall situation. Again, we continue with the severe thunderstorm warning for southwestern Berrien County.
Look, they're beans. They are beans. You see the shape?
And it looks like Jonah's starting to join us here, so...
Hey, guys.
Alright. Just a minute here. I'll get him popped in here.
Appreciate it. Wanted to get the rest of my chase vehicle set up in case I do decide to head out, but as of right now, I'm not overly impressed with anything that's happening.
Alright. Should
Looks
have
like
him here now, so... There.
Looks like the bulk of that severe weather threat is off to the south of the state line, in my opinion, but I don't know what you guys have been observing so far.
Yeah, that's been overall my thinking as well. Let me go over the velocity real quick. I will say the brighter colors, have been in the higher velocity returns, yes, have been in northern Indiana for the most part, but that does not mean you're not seeing gusty winds in southern Berrien County. Let me make
Yeah,
that clear. So
especially south of US 12 there.
yeah, that's the area I've been kind of
Yep.
hammering over the last little while. South of US 12 has really been showing the best potential, but even north of US 12, if for no other reason than the lightning, you'll still want to be inside.
Yep,
Let these storms
absolutely.
let these storms move through.
The Weather Service in Grand Rapids has canceled all of their special marine warnings, and I am not seeing anything more than some rain showers north of Benton Harbor. So,
Yep, I agree with that. So
and a
all of
line off
this,
to the east, or sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. The line off to the west in Wisconsin there is not looking all too impressive either.
right? We do have one severe thunderstorm warning with that, but I do agree with that. So again, that is something we will have to continue to watch as it moves east, but see how it does across the lake. And then, so I'm not entirely ruling out severe weather for areas north of 96, especially closer to the lake shore, but nothing extremely impressive with these storms from what we've been watching here at this time. Not as impressive as earlier, so hopefully that trend holds. But back to radar here. We get back to that severe warning. And okay. So if you're in the Three Oaks area, you continue. And it looks like a new scan coming in here. Three Oaks area, the worst. It looks like the heaviest part of the storm's now beginning to pass off to your east, but still remain inside in case of lightning. The Galleon area, that is your approach. That is on your doorstep over the next couple of minutes. The Bridgman area, you're starting to see some heavier downpours, maybe some gusty winds and lightning. Over towards, and then we will be watching the Buchanan, Berrien Springs, and Niles area over the next several minutes, as well as Bertrand.
How's my audio now? I think my webcam was picking up my audio.
It was sounding okay to me, but
Oh, okay. Well, I reset it, so hopefully it's
yep.
okay now.
Yep. But yeah. So again, we continue with this severe thunderstorm warning until 6:45 there for really the southern half of Berrien County. Just as this line of storms continue to move off to the northeast, I will animate this and. Yeah, it's moving to the east and northeast, we'll say. So, again, southern portions of Berrien County do continue to remain inside. And, right, so we'll go ahead and take another reset here, just look at the overall situation. We do continue, in addition to this line, we are still watching some pop-up shower and thunderstorm activity we've been having ongoing throughout the afternoon into the early evening. However, I am noticing that this overall is starting the weakening trend that I was suggesting earlier. As the sun begins to set, we'll be seeing that happen. And then our main focus will be this line of storms, and then maybe this activity back off to the west, depending on evolution as well. So, you have anything you want to add, Jonah?
Not particularly. The only thing that I will note is, and I just sent out a social media update before I jumped in here to our regular pages for those who aren't watching the stream. What we may end up seeing happening this evening, if current radar trends continue and we see an overall weakening of the severe weather threat, is we may see a transition to a more potent heavy rainfall and potential flooding threat. The Weather Prediction Center has outlined almost all of our area in a level 2 out of 4
Yep.
slight risk for excessive rainfall.
Yep, that is a yellow shading here if you're looking at it on the map. So yeah, pretty much the entire, excluding the far southwestern portions of the West Michigan weather coverage area. So like Benton Harbor, Free Rivers, and Sturgis, you are in a marginal risk of excessive rainfall. But yes, the vast majority of the area is in that level 2 out of 4 slight risk of excessive rainfall. So, again, even if the severe weather risk backs off a little bit, which would be good news, we still have to be concerned with the heavy rainfall threat tonight, if nothing else. So,
We definitely need the rain, as I'm sure
yep,
you all know. We really need the rain, especially across central West Michigan there.
yeah, definitely. In fact, we'll pull up the drought monitor here, and
Oh yeah,
yeah,
there you go.
yep. I know we don't have legends for it here, but like actually you do have a little legend there, but like the Holland, Grand Rapids, Wyoming area, you are in a moderate drought, and then particularly across especially up towards the Tri-Cities, they're in severe drought. And then you're also in moderate drought along the US 127 corridor there from Clare to just north of St. John's there. So
Yep.
again, we do need the rain, which that would be a good thing we can get. However, the concern is we get the heavy rainfall rates. A lot of that just runs off, which is why we're concerned about the potential flooding. Just again with the heavy rainfall rates in the short period of time. We were seeing a lot of that in southeast lower earlier this afternoon as well. So that's something we'll have to continue to watch. But there is cautious optimism that we may escape the worst. We may escape without too much in the way of severe weather, but we don't want you to let your guard down, at least this evening, just in case we do continue with this line down in southwest lower, and then whatever this activity back off to the west decides to do as it crosses the lake. So, yeah.
The Weather Service office in northern Indiana has canceled their special marine warning for offshore waters of Berrien County there near New Buffalo and Bridgman.
Yep.
So the only active alert we have ongoing is that severe thunderstorm warning, which is in effect for about another 15 minutes here for the southern portion of Berrien County there for 60-mile-per-hour winds, as well as the ongoing severe thunderstorm watch if you're south of 96,
Yeah. In fact,
really west of I-69 there.
There's a lot of colors here, so I will go ahead and outline the counties that are in the severe thunderstorm watch here. So if you are in the red outline I am drawing here, you are in a severe thunderstorm watch till midnight. And that is primarily for scattered damaging wind gusts potential up to 65 miles per hour. So if you are anywhere in this red outline I am drawing here, that I've drawn here, including Battle Creek, Kalamazoo areas, down towards Three Rivers, back towards the Benton Harbor, South Haven, and Holland areas. Holland's kind of the northern point there, back east towards like the Lansing area. So we'll say from a Holland, the Lansing, and point south line, for the most part, you are in a severe thunderstorm watch until midnight tonight. Although if these storms do continue to weaken, pending anything else, I have a feeling that might be canceled early as a matter of fact. So,
Yep.
Clear that. We'll go back to our severe thunderstorm warning. And another thing is I am starting to be seeing signs of an outflow boundary pushing ahead of this line as well. I'll highlight that. That is an outflow boundary. That is the rain-cooled air from these storms beginning to come ahead. If this outflow boundary gets further ahead, that generally is a sign that these storms are starting to weaken as well. And that's the rain-cooled air from these storms pushing out ahead. So, but in some cases, with these outflow boundaries are a little bit ahead, there's a little bit of a delay between your gustier winds and then the rain starting. So, might be signs of that, mainly near the Buchanan area, particularly in Berrien County, and then down into northern Indiana. So that is something we'll be watching over the next several minutes as well. See what that outflow boundary does. So, okay. Let's go back from the how hard is it raining mode to the velocity mode. Yeah, we do continue the trend with the near and south of the US 12 corridor in Berrien County. I believe having the highest strong to damaging wind potential, and then down into northern Indiana. I'll go back to the Chicago radar just for additional perspective. and that's the same general theme as well. So again, near and south of US 12 having the best potential for strong to damaging wind gusts, and then down in northern Indiana.
I will highlight quickly, we do have, and maybe you can draw this in, Jacob, looking at the severe thunderstorm warning that was just newly issued just north of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, there, moving off to the northeast at about 40 miles an hour. This has the tornado possible tag and is warned for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts as well. If this severe storm continues on its current track, it is possible that in about 2 hours or so, this could impact the far northwest portion of our coverage area up in Mason County near Ludington and Pentwater, perhaps as far east as Baldwin.
If
it were to continue on that current track.
I'll go ahead and highlight the area we're talking about here. That is assuming that it continues on its current track, which is something like that. So off to the northeast, if it continues on its current track and with its current strength, we will be watching again the Ludington area down towards maybe the Hart and Shelby Township areas, and then east towards the Baldwin area as well. Again, we want to provide a little bit of air room, just these storm motions. They can shift a little bit, but again, this is in the next couple of hours if these storms hold together. In fact, let me go back to reflectivity here real quick. Again, if these storms do hold their current strength, that is what we'll be watching down the line as well. That is the far northwestern portions of our coverage area. This is just an early heads up in case these storms do maintain their strength over the lake. So, let me clear that off now. And we'll go back to our current severe thunderstorm warning. I will say, for those of you that are especially in southern Berrien County, if you do have any storm reports to pass along to us, damage reports or anything like that, feel free, you can share those with us. You can do that on the social media chats, in the chat rooms on the social media platforms. We do see them here. And you can also tag us on our social media pages. We'll see them there as well. And we also have a website to where you can submit those as well. And that website is www.westmichiganweather.net/report. www.westmichiganweather.net/report again is the address to where you could submit storm reports as well. So again, I encourage you to do so safely, is what I will add. We don't want you putting yourself in danger for storm reports, but I would rather see a damage report after the fact than putting yourself in danger trying to get the thick of the storm reported.
Absolutely, yep.
So again, one more time, that is, you can do so on social media or on our website at www.westmichiganweather.net/report is where you can send those reports to us. Okay, so again, we do continue with this severe thunderstorm warning for southern portions of Berrien County until 6:45. For the next 7 minutes, I will be interested to see what the National Weather Service in northern Indiana does with us within the next 7 minutes. And so if you're in the Buchanan area, you're likely seeing some gustier winds now with the outflow boundary passing. The rain will pick up within the next couple of minutes as well. Niles and Eau Claire area down towards Bertrand, the winds, again, with this outflow boundary starting to push ahead, you might see the winds pick up at first, and then the rain will be a little bit delayed. But again, that is something we are continuing to watch. Is the potential, at least for the next 7 minutes, of damaging wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour. So we'll go back and take one more look at velocity, and I will say it continues showing. If there's going to be damaging winds, I do think the best potential will continue to be near and south of US 12, but I still think the better potential will be down into northern Indiana if we're still at severe levels. And that is an air quality alert. That's just updating the air quality alerts that have been in effect for the lakeshore waters, which let me go ahead and see. Okay, so this is an air quality alert that's been in effect that expires at later at what was it, midnight tonight? Yes, midnight tonight. This is just for elevated levels of ozone in the air for our lake shore over towards Grand Rapids. That continues through midnight tonight. So just something to make you aware of. And okay, so back to reflectivity here. I haven't seen anything come across. Well, I do have a 40-mile-per-hour wind gust at Michigan City from this line of storms. That's from a Mesonet station, a 40-mile-per-hour wind gust. Luckily, I have not seen anything else really as of yet, which is good as of right now. Good news. So
Yeah. And just for clarity, for anyone who doesn't know where Michigan City is,
yep,
Michigan City is in fact south
north,
of the state line
yeah,
in Indiana.
and Indiana. So
Yeah, it is not in Michigan, despite the
yep,
name.
yep, that's there in northwest Indiana, just south of the state line though. But
The
yeah,
Weather Prediction Center updated their day one excessive rainfall outlook. There was no change to it, so the same graphic that we
yep.
showed just a little bit ago remains valid. Much of the
Well,
area is in a slight risk.
we'll pull that up again just to make sure. Yep. So we continue with the slight risk for excessive rainfall for tonight across the vast majority of the coverage area, excluding far southwestern lower down
Yep.
towards the state line. So that's something, if even as a severe weather threat optimistically begins to back off, that is something we'll still be watching for tonight as well. So I am not. We have 4 minutes left on that severe thunderstorm warning. I am not seeing anything new yet.
Yeah.
So, and in my again, we're not in charge of warnings. That is the National Weather Service's responsibility. But in my honest opinion, if I go back to velocity here, I feel like they may go with a special weather statement instead of a severe thunderstorm warning if they continue on with it. Because with this, I am still seeing a little bit of a weakening trend with this line as it continues to push off to the east. So, again, we're not in charge of the warnings. That is our friends at the National Weather Service in northern Indiana. But based on my personal radar analysis, I do think that there may be a decision to back off on the severe thunderstorm warnings, go towards special weather statements. That is one step down of a severe thunderstorm warning. Just saying, hey, the storm is strong. And, well, it's like they
And of
did
note,
issue.
they just did that. Oh, nope, that's a new severe
Yep,
thunderstorm warning
for the
just to the south.
Plymouth, Indiana area. So
Yep.
I have not seen anything new come across yet.
Yeah.
This warning
I
does it.
would support a warning down there, though. There are some higher velocities. So that warning makes sense to me. So some velocities closer to 60 miles an hour heading towards Plymouth there.
Yep. That is the brighter colors, the kind of the bright towards white-ish colors you're seeing there on the radar here. That is your higher wind gusts, which I'll probe that. That is, yes, around, that is approaching 60 miles an hour there. So, and the off chance anyone is watching in the Plymouth, Indiana area, just be aware 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts may be heading your way with the Plymouth, Indiana area and surrounding areas under a severe thunderstorm warning. Now, that goes until 7:30 this evening. Out of our coverage area, but just while we see it here, might as well mention it. So,
We've been talking about the potential for a decreasing severe weather threat if current radar trends to continue. But in the social media update I sent at 6:15, I did say that we needed to watch for upscale growth on the other side of the lake with the ongoing thunderstorms across Wisconsin. And what I might be seeing if we're looking at the Milwaukee radar site uh, is just that a little bit of upscale growth from just south of the radar site up
yep,
towards West Bend and Hartford. If we put this in motion, you can kind of
yep,
see that there is a little bit of upscale growth ongoing with those storms. So,
yep. So, Yeah, there's a little bit of upscale growth going on with these storms, so that is something that we will have to continue to watch as it tracks towards the lake. We'll have to see what happens with that, but that might reintroduce the severe weather threat just a little bit. So that is some. It looks like they are letting the severe thunderstorm warning for Berrien County expire. So
And this is really just a wait and see game now that that severe thunderstorm warning for Berrien has expired. So the only active alerts we have are that severe thunderstorm watch that's in effect for the southern tier of counties there, south of I-96 that Jacob highlighted earlier. It's your pink shading on screen there. That is the only active alert we have in Michigan at this point. We're watching thunderstorm activity back to the west in Wisconsin for continued upscale growth.
yep. So again, that's just a warning expiration message coming down the line. So again, as Jonah just mentioned, we will continue to watch this line in Southwest Lower just in case something decides to flare back up a little bit. But I do think our attention will be turning to this activity back in now southeast Wisconsin, east Wisconsin, as it moves over the lake. We are starting to see signs of upscale growth with this, and that is something we will have to continue to monitor going through the lake. As it moves through Lake Michigan, we'll have to pay attention as it moves on shore in the next couple of hours if we can maintain strength. We could have a severe weather threat also for areas near and north of I-96 as well, depending on these storms hold their strength. So that is something we will be continuing to watch behind the scenes. And but in the meantime, I do think we're going to scale back coverage for right now, with there being no active severe thunderstorm warnings in the area at this time. But we are still watching behind the scenes, just in case something does flare back up, or as this activity back off to our west approaches our area over the next few hours. Jonah, do you have anything to add?
No, I think you covered it pretty good. Like we said, we're watching that activity back off near Milwaukee, Wisconsin, for whether or not it's going to continue to grow, upscale, and intensify, and then whether that intensity can hold as it makes its way towards us. Um, Regardless of severe weather, flooding remains a threat as well as heavy rainfall this evening. But yeah, I would agree. We can scale back coverage and just stay tuned to our social media platforms, and we'll be live again if severe weather becomes more imminent from this line we're watching back in Wisconsin.
All right. So again, I will say one more time, for those of you that were watching in southern Berrien County, where the severe thunderstorm warning was issued, if you do have any reports to pass along to us, feel free to do so. You can do that on our social media platforms or also on our website at www.westmichiganweather.net/report. Again, that is www.westmichiganweather.net/report. It's where you can submit those storm reports, or again, you can do so on our social media pages. I also encourage you, well, again, this is fully optional. We would never force severe weather coverage or anything like that. But if you want to donate and support our efforts here at West Michigan Weather, you can do so on our website at www.westmichiganweather.net/donate. Again, that is www.westmichiganweather.net/donate. Again, that is fully optional. We would never require that for life-saving weather information or anything like that. But just something, if you want to do it, help us, help with our operations here, that is greatly appreciated.
Definitely. Yep.
Yep.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yep.
With that, I think we can wrap up the stream here. Like we said, we'll be back in the event that there is additional severe weather.
Yep. All right. Thanks for joining us here, and stay safe.